I'm glad you're here watching my video on YouTube. The fact is, I don't know how long this will be up, since YouTube has decided to start censoring me and pulling down my videos. But don't worry, you can watch this video on rumble.com/RandPaul, where I post all of my content. Love to see you over at rumble.com.
Joining me now, Kentucky Senator Rand Paul. Senator, I had so many friends send me that exchange, texted it to me last night. It is stunning. The bureaucracy, uninformed, ignorant, certainly no medical background. What's going to happen here? Now, Dianne Feinstein has introduced legislation to stop the unvaccinated, prevent them from traveling domestically on an airplane.
You know, the truth is actually the opposite. For those of us who have had the disease and survived, we're more at risk in being around only vaccinated people. So these people are hysterical about the unvaccinated. It's actually the opposite of the truth. The riskiest people to catch it from are people who are vaccinated versus people who have had the disease. Now, there are some people who are unvaccinated who haven't had the disease, and I do recommend that they voluntarily get the vaccine. But the thing is think of all the doctors, think of all the lawyers, the orderlies in the hospital who worked for a year and a half to save lives without any vaccine at all. They got COVID, they survived, they now have immunity, and the hospitals are just saying, you worthless, we're getting rid of you unless you submit to a vaccine. But it doesn't go with the science. The science actually shows greater immunity if you've had the disease than if you've just simply been vaccinated.
Well, the court is ultimately going to have to settle this one. They're just not going to change their view on that. But getting back to my point about this radical legislation seeking to isolate and punish unvaccinated Americans to prevent them from flying domestically. Dianne Feinstein, when we haven't seen her much lately, but she apparently introduced legislation to do just that. Your reaction, Senator?
The ever-present Dr. Fauci agrees with her. He wants to ban people from flying as well, unless they're vaccinated. It totally goes against the science. It's ignoring the 100 million people that already have immunity who got it naturally. It's a terrible idea. It goes against sort of the very basic idea of a free society. I said yesterday, one of the most incredible or primary medical rights we have is to decide what goes into our body, what kind of injections we get, which doctor we go to, whether we have surgery or we don't have surgery. And so everything they're doing is against the science, but also against really the foundation of of the freedom that our country was founded upon.
And yesterday, on a separate issue, Senator, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, well, she addressed just how bad our national debt is.
Debt held by the public relative to GDP is around 105%.
Do you believe that there is a level of debt that is unsustainable in our economy?
If interest rates are zero and negative in real terms, certainly we could have a substantially higher burden.
So I guess there's no end to the debt we can rack up. That is terrifying. Real quick.
Yeah, the other way to look at it is that we're approaching the same percentage of debt that Greece had when Greece declared bankruptcy. So yes, great nations can declare bankruptcy. The checks will all go out, but the question is, will the checks buy anything? I think inflation's coming back in a big way, and I think the whole bait and switch of Democrats offering you free stuff, you will ultimately pay for it with higher prices. Don't be fooled. Nothing in life is really free.
Senator Paul, incredible exchange with Becerra yesterday. Thanks for joining us. And you've heard it repeated.